Hello, everyone. For many people, myself included, it's been a long week. Obviously, the news of Charlie Kirk's assassination on the campus of Utah Valley University has deeply impacted millions and millions of people. When I first heard the news, I thought it was a cruel joke being played by some stupid internet troll. When I realized it wasn't, well, it knocked me for quite a loop. I haven't shared this story before, but Charlie Kirk, he was one of several people that inspired me to start this channel. I'd been thinking about it for a while, but kept finding some stupid excuse to keep pushing it off. I'd seen videos of Charlie on college campuses, challenging anyone, to change his mind on his beliefs. He was always so calm and so eloquent in how he would take any criticism thrown at him, acknowledge it, and then systematically dismantle it. It was absolutely a thing of beauty. As someone who's spent his life being an introvert, I admired his ability to interact with people and then express his opinions. Did I agree with him on everything? No. Now, to be fair, there was a lot I agreed with him on, but there were things he was strongly passionate about that I disagreed with. There was no doubt, however, absolutely no doubt that the man was fearless in speaking his mind. I admired him so much for that. Over the days since his assassination, I've been thinking on what I wanted to say about this situation. Do I come on camera with fire and fury blazing in anger about what happened? I felt like doing that for the first few days. I was so angry, absolutely full of rage at the sick person that did this. I still have a lot of anger inside, but that's not how I'm going to approach this video. Charlie was a master of calm debate. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't get angry when people challenged him. He always approached people in these debates with quiet logic. In many ways, he was the perfect model of stoicism. He was someone that men could look up to as a role model. That's why I decided to wait on making this video. I gave myself time to reflect on the situation. I also allowed time for facts to be revealed. Who was the shooter? What were their beliefs? How did this all come to pass? Certainly, there's still a lot that's unknown. But I think that enough has been uncovered that we can make some conclusions, some fair conclusions on where things go from here. Charlie, he gave everyone a voice, whether you were liberal, moderate, or conservative, whether you were black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whether you were gay, straight, bisexual, transgender, it didn't matter. He allowed everyone to be heard. He listened to what people had to say, and for that, he was taken out. It doesn't matter to me if people disagree with what he said. As I've said myself, I disagreed with him on some things too. If people don't want to mourn his passing, that's fine too. Nobody should feel obligated to do so. What bothers me is the depravity that some people are showing towards him and his family. If you don't like him, cool. Just go on your way and allow people that cared for him and his work to grieve. But no, that's not what these people are doing. Instead, they go online and they celebrate his death. They cheer. They cheer that he was brutally assassinated in front of his wife and kids. They glorify the sick bastard that ended his life, making t-shirts and memes to commemorate him. They figuratively dance on his Charlie's grave before his body was even cold. Who does that sort of thing? There are certain lines that you just don't cross. Cheering the assassination of a peaceful man in front of his family is a step too far. celebrating the murder of a person who simply wanted to talk to people, to have an open dialogue and try to find common ground, it's just too much. Not just for me, but for millions and millions of others. Because if you'll take joy from the offing of Charlie Kirk, whom you disagreed with, you'll take pleasure in the offing of others, whom you also disagree with. That could be me. That could be my friends. That could be my family. That is evil. That is pure, unadulterated hate. And I'll have no part of it. If you subscribe to me or watch my videos, I want you to unsubscribe. I don't want you watching any more of this video. I want you to forget this channel. I want you to forget that I exist. Because I wish I could forget you. I wish I could forget the horrible things that I've seen over the last few days. I wish I could just bleach my brain, bleach the memory of what evil is, of what real evil is, because I can't. These memories that I have right now, they're going to exist with me for the rest of my life. And I hate it. I hate the idea that I'm going to have to remember just how sick and twisted some of you people are. Many of these demonic individuals I'm speaking of are also those who I've spoken out against here on the channel previously. While I don't challenge them from a political perspective, I do ideologically. These are the same people who tell us that babies can decide if they're boys or girls. They tell boys that doing boy things, such as roughhousing or playing in the dirt, is bad. They put TV shows like Adolescence on. You know, that show where they basically accused all young boys of being angry, radicalized, alt-right freaks that want to go out and unalive people. They are being twisted into killers by toxic masculinity and misogyny from playing video games and from hateful men's online forums. And yet, we're finding out that the young man who unalived Charlie Kirk was most likely being radicalized himself through at least Discord groups to be a rage-filled acolyte of Antifa. The very thing that they gaslight us all into believing is what they are doing instead. Even now, they're desperately trying to cover that information up. They're terrified. These liberals are terrified that the general population is going to find out the truth. Charlie Kirk was also a huge proponent of marriage and children. He openly encouraged young women to get married and have multiple children while they were young and their fertility was intact. He strongly believed that raising healthy, well-adjusted children was far more rewarding for women than a successful career. This was the antithesis to everything girls are being taught in school today. Now, before an angry mob of leftists come and tear into me, I have no problem with women choosing their path in life. If a young woman wants a career, great. If she wants to be a senior partner in a law firm or a CEO or start a business, great, go do it. That's not the problem. The problem is that those that choose to be a mother first, those that choose to marry at a young age, those who push back against being a career woman are actively being disparaged in schools all across the world. Teachers, counselors, and other advisors are telling girls that wanting these things is bad. They are actively working to destroy the concept of marriage and families every single day. It's absolutely ridiculous. Look at how many teachers, medical, and mental health professionals are out there cheering Charlie Kirk's assassination. One, of course, is too many, but there are hundreds, thousands, and likely tens of thousands all doing so. How many children do these people interact with? How many have they infected with this woke mind virus? I guarantee you, it is way, way more than any of us want to imagine. Educators should be teaching children how to think, not what to think. Therapists and psychologists should be guides, helping people to solve their own problems. They shouldn't be telling them what those solutions are. Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals should be putting their patients' needs first, the Hippocratic Oath, not injecting their own woke beliefs into treatment plans. Instead, these individuals are all preying on the innocent, the weak, and the vulnerable. They are preying on these children from the moment they're born. They make them susceptible to this twisted, demented ideology, such that it's all that they know. It's the only thing that they know. And then this continues into colleges and universities all over the world. Even good men and women who were raised properly with great critical thinking skills are not immune. Charlie Kirk's assassin, in just a few years, went from being a 4.0 student with a full scholarship to a cold-blooded killer. I see so many people blaming his mother and father. And maybe that criticism is valid. But what about the criticism of the school, of the media, and of other entities that radicalized him? The left demonizes video games, message boards, social media influencers, and all sorts of online places for making radicalized, women-hating, misogynist men. However, they've been very quiet lately as the psychotic left-leaning trans radicals have been committing violence. I guarantee you these entities they accuse of making misogynist and rapers are actually the ones that are making this current wave of radicals. This is directly out of their playbook. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Accuse the others of the things that you yourself are doing. I think we're all tired of it. In fact, I don't have to think we're tired of it. I know we are tired of it. I rambled for a bit, so I want to bring it back to one important point. Charlie used words to show people, to convince them that their way of thinking was incorrect. He was effective. He was very effective at it. So they silenced him permanently. While it may have been the work of one person, I guess we'll see, tens of thousands, if not more, support it because they couldn't win. They couldn't justify the programming that was up here in their mind. When they were forced to look in a mirror for a second, forced to look at themselves, they saw the truth. It's the same playbook that they have been using on men for years and years. Silence, shame, name-calling. Now, however, it's being escalated to a dangerous level. They're prepared to unalive those that they disagree with. They realize that in the hands of the right person, words are so incredibly powerful. They realize that they are in a no-win situation, so anything, literally anything, now including unaliving people, it's fair game. So what now? What do we do going forward? I can't speak for others, but I can tell you what I'm going to do. I had a conversation with a female friend yesterday who was very distraught over Charlie's murder, as I said before, so many others have been. When it comes to topics of dating and relationships, we've had some very, truly fierce disagreements. Even so, we continue to talk and we've found common ground. I doubt we'll ever see eye to eye on many things, but we can still work together towards common goals. We both agree that society needs to stop emasculating boys and men. We both agree that this culture which openly encourages sexual promiscuity, both for men and for women, is bad, and it needs to change. As we continue to engage in civil discourse, I'm sure we'll find other areas of agreement. And when we disagree, we can do so without violence. For those who supported Charlie's vision in life, I encourage you to continue supporting it now. There are some people that do need to be removed from our lives, but there are many more that still can be reached, that still can be reasoned with. For those people, we can't give up on them yet. As he said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens. Let's pray. Let's pray to God with such a fervor that that never comes to be. Please, in the comments before you go, share your thoughts. Share something that Charlie did for you, some way that he inspired or made you be a better person. Or share some piece of wisdom that we can all take as we deal with this war that I think has gone far beyond just being a war here on earth. I think we're very much looking at a spiritual war. And I know there's a lot of people out there that maybe aren't religious, that isn't something that is on their mind. But for those of us who believe in God, whether you're a Christian or whether you're some other religion, I think we're really there. I think we are looking, maybe for the first time, we are looking at the face of evil. Pure, unadulterated, vile, visceral evil. And it's scary. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm terrified of what's going on. But we can't be afraid. We can't remain, maybe being afraid is not the right thing to say. It's natural to be afraid. But we can't let that fear paralyze us. We have to keep moving forward. We have to keep pushing, and we have to keep doing what's right. Hopefully something that I said here has value to you. And we just go forward, one step at a time. Take care, and I will see you all in a future video.